Imagine this. You're standing on a battlefield, sword in hand. The air is thick with tension. The world around you fades into silence, save for the steady rhythm of your own breath. Your grip tightens. Your heart pounds. Across from you, your enemy stands poised, waiting, calculating. But you are not afraid. Because you've been here before, not just in this moment, but in every moment of your training. You've already fought this battle 1,000 times in your mind. You don't react blindly. You don't rush in with reckless fury. Instead, you watch. You see the opening before it even happens. You move, not too soon, not too late, but at the exact, perfect moment. And with one precise, deliberate strike, it's over. This is the way of Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai who spent his life honing the art of combat, strategy, and mastery of the mind. But make no mistake, this is not just a book about fighting. This is not about swinging a sword harder or simply being stronger than your opponent. The Book of Five Rings is a blueprint for dominance. Whether you are on the battlefield, in the boardroom, or navigating the trials of everyday life, it is about clarity, discipline, and the ability to adapt to any challenge that stands before you. Because Musashi didn't just fight battles, he mastered them. He understood that true victory is won before the fight even begins. That's the warrior who controls himself, controls the battle, and that the sharpest weapon in any duel is the mind. So, what does it mean to become unstoppable, unshakable, undefeatable? Get ready. Because today we are diving into the legendary wisdom of Musashi's 5 rings. Musashi was no ordinary samurai. By 16, he had defeated a highly skilled swordsman in single combat. By 21, he had fought in over 60 battles against warriors, strategists, and entire schools of swordsmanship. And here's the craziest part. He never lost. Not once. But it wasn't brute strength that made him unbeatable. It wasn't that he was simply faster, stronger, or more skilled than his opponents. No, Musashi won because he thought differently. In a time where warriors followed rigid traditions, he broke the rules. Where others relied on technique, he relied on strategy. Where others depended on schools of combat, he believed in adapting to any situation, any opponent, at any moment. So what was his secret? He left behind a final gift, a book, written in seclusion on a mountaintop in 1645 as he neared the end of his life. A book that would forever change the way warriors, leaders, and strategists think. That book was the Book of Five Rings, a collection of timeless principles on combat, mastery, and life itself. But here's what makes it so powerful. It isn't just a manual for sword fighting, it's a philosophy, a way of thinking, a way of living. It's divided into 5 books, each one named after a natural element, and each one contains a fundamental truth about how to succeed, not just in battle, but in any challenge you face. The ground book, the foundation of all things. The water book, the power of adaptability. The fire book, the art of relentless aggression. The wind book, learning from the strategies of others. The book of the void, the highest level of mastery, where action becomes instinct. These aren't just words from a samurai of the past. These are principles that can help you win in business, competition, and life. Because at its core, the Book of Five Rings isn't about fighting. It's about winning, so the question is, are you ready to learn the way? The ground book, the foundation of all things. Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't start with the windows, the roof, or the paint. No, you start with the foundation is weak, the entire structure collapses. Musashi believed that a warrior's foundation is everything. Without it, skill means nothing. Strategy means nothing. Even talent, without discipline and training, is meaningless. So, what makes a strong foundation? His first rule: never think dishonestly. A warrior cannot afford self-deception. Musashi believed that true strength comes from seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. If you lie to yourself about your weaknesses, about your abilities, you'll never improve. His second rule: train like your life depends on it, because someday it just might. Musashi didn't believe in luck. He believed in preparation. He understood that a warrior does not rise to the occasion. They fall to the level of their training. But here's the key. This doesn't just apply to swordsmen. This applies to entrepreneurs, athletes, musicians, artists, anyone striving for greatness. A business collapses without a strong foundation of discipline and consistency. An athlete fails without a foundation of rigorous training and self-control. An artist stagnates without a foundation of practice and relentless improvement. Because mastery doesn't come from talent alone, it comes from repetition, from discipline, from showing up every single day, no matter what. This is where most people fail. They get excited about the goal, but they ignore the groundwork. They want the glory without the grind, the reward without the repetition. But Musashi knew the truth. Without a solid foundation, nothing else matters. So ask yourself, are you building your foundation strong enough to withstand the battles ahead? Or are you building on shaky ground, hoping that luck will save you? Because in Musashi's world and in ours, luck doesn't exist. If you want to win in life, you need a strong foundation. The second book is the water book. Have you ever watched a river carve its way through mountains? It doesn't resist. It doesn't stop when it meets an obstacle. It flows around, over, and through whatever stands in its way. It adapts, and that's exactly what Musashi teaches. In battle, the warrior who fights with rigid, unchanging technique is already defeated. The one who survives is the one who flows, who changes, adjusts, and evolves with each moment. Because water has no fixed form, it takes the shape of its container. Be flexible in battle. Don't get stuck in one style or method. Musashi's philosophy wasn't just about sword fighting. It was about life itself. How often do we get stuck? Stuck in one way of thinking. Stuck in one belief because we're afraid to change. Stuck in one belief because we refuse to see another perspective. But true mastery, whether in battle, in business, or in personal growth, means flowing like water. If your strategy isn't working, change it. If your approach fails, adapt it. If life throws obstacles in your path, don't stop, find another way. Musashi never clung to one style of combat. He mastered many. He studied all techniques and discarded what was useless. And this is where most people fail. They cling to their old ways, even when they don't work. They fight change, even when change is the only way forward. But the greatest warriors, the greatest minds, and the greatest leaders are fluid. They understand that to win in life, you must move like water. Shape yourself to the moment, rather than clinging to the past. Be adaptable, be unpredictable, because water is never trapped, and neither should you be. If you can master this, you will never be stuck. You will never be powerless. You will always be ready, because those who move like water cannot be stopped. The fire book, fierce, relentless, and unpredictable. Fire is aggressive. Fire is unpredictable. Fire consumes everything in its path. And just like fire, a warrior must know when to explode into action, because hesitation is death. Musashi teaches that to win in battle, or in life, you must strike first and strike hard. Not recklessly, not blindly, but with absolute precision. Because here's the truth. Victory is not given, it is taken. A swordsman who waits for the perfect moment to strike, a warrior who hesitates. But here's the key, it's not about fighting for the sake of fighting. A wildfire with no direction burns itself out, but controlled fire, fire with purpose, forges steel. And that is what Musashi understood better than anyone. It's not just about fighting, it's about controlling the fight. It's about setting the pace, forcing your opponent to react to you, instead of the other way around. And this applies far beyond the battlefield. In business, the one who moves first controls the market. In negotiations, the one who dictates the terms holds the power. In competition, the one who seizes momentum forces the opponent into defense. The one who controls the rhythm controls the game. And here's the real question. Are you waiting for life to happen? Are you standing still, hoping for the perfect opportunity? Or are you making the first move? Because those who hesitate are devoured by those who act. Musashi never waited for the enemy's first strike. He was already 3 moves ahead. And in life, as in battle, the fire that moves first is the fire that burns the longest. So, what are you waiting for? The Win Book, Learning from Others. The 4th book is the Win Book, the book of strategy. Have you ever stood on a mountain and felt the wind shift? One moment it is gentle, the next it is fierce. It does not move in a straight line. It bends, it swirls, it changes. And this is what Musashi teaches. To master the way, you must understand all parts, not just your own. Because the greatest mistake a warrior, or anyone, can make is to believe their way is the only way. Musashi spent his life facing warriors from different schools of combat. Each one believed their technique was superior. Each one clung to their traditions, and each one fell before his blade. Why? Because Musashi did not confine himself to one style. He studied them all. He watched how different warriors fought. He studied their strengths, and more importantly, their weaknesses. He took what was useful, discarded what was not, and forged his own way. Because to truly master your craft, you must study others. Think about it. If you want to be a great fighter, know all techniques, but never become attached to one. Because the moment you rely on a single move, you become predictable. And predictability is defeat. This applies to every aspect of life. The best leaders, the best creators, the best competitors, they are students first, masters second. They never believe they have all the answers. They seek knowledge, always, because the moment you think you know everything, you've already lost. Musashi knew that to truly master the way, you must be like the wind, always moving, always learning, never trapped in one place. So ask yourself, are you stuck in one way of thinking, or are you willing to expand your mind, study all approaches, and evolve? Because those who move like the wind can never be caught. The Void Book, the ultimate lesson. This is where Musashi transcends from warrior to philosopher, from strategist to sage. Because in the end, the greatest battle is not fought with a sword, it is fought within. The void is the space beyond technique, beyond thought, beyond self. It is the realm where the warrior and the way become one. But what does that mean? At the highest level of mastery, you move without thinking. Your body and mind no longer hesitate. They simply act. You strike without fear, because fear is an illusion, and hesitation is death. You become one with the moment. Because the past is gone, the future does not exist, only now matters. This is the level Musashi reached, a level where strategy disappears, where combat dissolves into pure instinct. He writes, when the enemy is ready to strike, be absent. When the enemy expects you to defend, attack. What does this mean? It means that when the enemy sees you, you are already gone. When they react, you have already moved. When they plan, you are beyond their plan. You do not fight in the way they expect, because you are not bound by any way at all. This is true enlightenment. This is the void, where thought and action become one, where there is no doubt, no hesitation, only flow, where the battle is already won before the first strike is thrown. Because in the highest level of mastery, there is no mind, there is no fear, there is no enemy, there is only you and the way. And when you reach this state, you cannot be beaten. Because the one who embraces nothingness becomes unstoppable. And so, Musashi, the greatest samurai who ever lived, left behind this timeless book, not just for warriors, but for anyone who seeks mastery in life. It wasn't about swords, it wasn't about war, It was about mastery itself. Because in the end, the greatest battle is not fought with weapons. It is fought within. Musashi understood something that few ever do. Life itself is a battlefield. Every day, we face challenges. Every day, we make choices to act or to hesitate, to adapt or to resist, to rise or to fall. Most people move through life blindly, reacting to whatever comes their way. But Musashi didn't react. He controlled the fight. Be grounded. Build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake you. Be adaptable. Flow like water, adjusting to any situation. Be aggressive when needed. Strike with precision and confidence. Never assume you know everything. And in the end, let go. True mastery comes from releasing fear, doubt, and ego. Because true mastery isn't about winning or losing. It's about becoming one with the moment. It's about moving without fear, without hesitation. That is the lesson of the Book of Five Rings. But here's the question. Which lesson hit you the hardest? Which one will you apply to your own battles? Comment below and let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because the way of strategy never ends. See you in the next video.